Well, congratulations, South Dakota State. I thought it was a great, tremendous environment. Said it a million times. This facility is world class. It's a tremendous facility. Obviously, I don't know what the attendance was, but you could feel it. You could feel the electricity. You could feel the spirit and atmosphere in the arena, and you could feel it from both sides. And it was electric, and it was everything it was built up to be. In terms of the game, obviously we got out to a great start, and they got a little bit of momentum. I thought, we go up 44-33, I believe, at the half. And I thought they kind of gained a little bit of momentum there late in the first half. Tellinghausen hits a three and gets the tip dunk. And but second half starts back and forth, and it was tough. I mean, it was a physical game. We didn't get to the line like we usually do. We're 7th in the country and getting fouled, and we only shot 15 tonight. And and that was a big thing we talked about with our team is we gotta own the paint and own the free throw line. And they shoot twice as many free throws. We did a good job with our game plan. You got to give them credit. I said on the pregame radio show, obviously Dom is who we're trying to take away. He's an unbelievable player, and I thought Tyler did a great job on him, and our team did with some screen roll coverages. He didn't hit a three tonight. And then of course Tellinghausen, who had 8 threes at our place, goes 1 for 6 tonight. But I told Joe Van Gore, our radio guy, the huge key tonight is going to be Michael Orris. And he had 15 at halftime. And in hindsight now, obviously you got to give that kid credit. We were really sagging off him and Howell and Tevin King. And so they come down, we missed the free throw. Mooney obviously hits a huge three. We foul. Tyler fouls out. And we break the press, do what we need to do. We miss the front end. And you got to give Orris credit. I mean, Hurst is down there, and Dom gets deep position. So he was just kind of sitting back, trying to take away the post feed like we've been doing all night. And the kid rises up and makes a shot. And so got to give that kid a lot of credit for making that play in that situation. And then we had a half quarter at the buzzer that was right on line and just fell short. So, one dream ends in terms of going to the NCAA tournament. Tyler's been a tremendous senior for us this year, our one senior. And I could talk all day about our entire team. Coached for 21 years and been in national championship games, been in NCAA tournament games, and everything in between from NAI to D2 to Division I. I'll tell you, I love these guys. And I know coaches say that all the time. They don't always mean it. And these dudes are just so fun to coach. And where we came from Spain to now, it's pretty incredible. So it's the end of the chapter for this year for getting to the NCAA tournament, but our season isn't done, and we're proud to represent the Summit League in the NIT.
Let's take questions for the student athletes. Matt?
Craig, isn't Michael
Let's go to the student athletes first, please.
Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Matt, what were some of the things involved in not getting to the free throw line as much as you guys usually do?
Just credit their defense. They played really good defense. I wasn't aggressive enough going to the rim. We weren't aggressive enough going to the basket, as we usually are. We settled, especially in the first half, and they played really good defense.
Let's go over here.
Tyler, Coach talked about the fast start. What did you think was the difference between sustaining that and then them getting back in the game?
Well, we started out really good on defense, I think. We held them to like 4 points in the first, 5 minutes or so. I think it was something like that. And they hit some big shots in the second half, They hit some tough shots. We weren't getting the free throw line as much as we normally do. I think that was a big part of us not keeping the lead in the second half. And I just want to say I'm proud of my teammates, how they played today and this whole season. And I'm proud of all my coaches and fans. Thanks for all the support from the fans, and our season's not over. We're lucky we can still play, and yeah.
Let's take one back here real quick.
Yeah, that was a really fun matchup for us, I think. both had our work cut out for like ourselves, and that was my biggest thing going into this game. I knew I had to stop this guy. I mean, he's the second leading scorer in the nation, you know, and I just tried my best to like make it tough for him to get the ball, to get shots off, and that was my focus on the game, you know. He did a good job on me as well. He's an underrated defender, I think, and their whole team played really good defense tonight.
Stu, do you have one?
Matt, I think, obviously it's tough to talk about it in a losing cause, but, Coach mentioned the environment out there, and you seem to thrive off that environment. Was that, even with the outcome, a fun atmosphere to play in?
No doubt. Even our first game was really fun. You know, we really do appreciate the fans coming out. This program is moving in the right direction. Coach Smith has got it moving in the right direction. And I promise you this, we'll be back next year. You know, if a loss like this doesn't inspire you to work your tail off, then I don't know what will. But we got the right guys in the locker room and the right coaching staff, and we're going to work so hard because we don't want this feeling again. We don't want this taste in our mouth again. We're going to be back.
One in the back.
Matt, I know you've been very vocal about wanting to get to the NCAA tournament and bring this team there. Obviously, that goal comes up short, but sometimes it's not the result, but how you battle back in adversity. Where do you guys go from here with the NIT bid, and how do you just kind of erase this and start anew?
Yeah, you know, ever since, you know, I think for most kids it's the same. When you're a little kid growing up, all you ever dream about is playing the NCAA tournament. My mom used to let me skip school and stay home and watch the NCAA tournament. So that's what you dream about. But, you know, like Flack said, we still got an NIT bid, and that's the second best postseason tournament in the country, and we're going to face some really tough opponents. So we just got to, you know, as tough as it is, try and move forward and focus on our next opponent.
Let's go right here.
Tyler, how tough is that going to be to get rid of this as best you can anyway, and go on to a tournament that, at the beginning of the season, you knew you were going into it, you probably would have felt pretty good about it.
It's gonna be tough. A loss like this really hurts a lot for our whole team and everybody. And I mean, we're gonna get back to work. We're gonna work harder than we ever have, you know. And we're just gonna move on and focus on our next opponent, I guess. And I think these guys can still make a dent in the NIT. I think we can win the whole thing there. I mean, we didn't finish the game well tonight, but I think we can really improve with the time we have in between now and the NIT. And yeah, I think we'll do great there.
Second row.
We also make those sports, Matt. Kind of building on that, it's kind of apples to oranges in a way, but do you draw anything on what the women did a year ago? Because they were in the same seat you're in, a round later in this tournament, but at the same time, they had to kind of collect themselves, and you saw what they were able to do.
Yeah, that was really cool to witness last year. It was really special for the women to end their season on a win, and only a couple teams can say they're able to do that. So it's hard to talk about right now. I mean, I feel really bad for this guy sitting to my left. You know, he'll never get to play in the NCAA tournament. He won't get another chance. But not a lot. Only I think 100 teams. I mean, you got the 68 in the tournament, then the next 32 play in the NIT. So a lot of teams don't get to play in the postseason. We're fortunate enough to be able to play there.
We can take one more for the student athletes. Or any other questions? Good. Okay. Gentlemen, thank you. We'll go ahead and excuse you back to the locker room. We really appreciate your time. Thank you. We'll take some other questions for Coach Smith.
Do you feel like during this tournament, the two games, that maybe the offense got a little bit too dependent on Matt once in a while?
Maybe a little bit. Yesterday I thought it was more a case of we were nervous, or not yesterday, Saturday. You could tell we were just a little, especially the first half. We kind of had the deer in the headlights, and you could just sense our guys yesterday and today they were just much more relaxed, much more, okay, we got our feet wet. You know, we know what to expect. We played in the arena, right, in front of we had a good crowd on Saturday as well. And so our guys were really excited for the challenge. I definitely, you know, I should have got Tyler going more and probably ran more things for him throughout the course of the game. Trey Birch-Manning, I thought in the first half was good, but he just was stuck with fouls. He couldn't stay in the game. And I thought he had some mismatch issues, or not issues, but things that we could go to that way. And then, you know, yeah, it's down the stretch of that game, we're playing 2 true freshmen. You know, not just down the stretch, most of the second half. And so it was Simpson and Tyler Peterson and Mooney and Hurst and then Flack. And so, and Hagedorn a little bit as well. So, yeah, I mean, probably we started running a lot of sets for him, most certainly. But you know what else? He's a catalyst. I mean, and he performs, right? And he got to the rim a couple times. They blocked a couple shots. Obviously, he stuck a couple big threes. There was a stretch midway where I thought he got a little, what's the right word, overzealous, you know, where he took some ill-advised ones. But that's part of being that way, too. I mean, when you got a guy that can do that and just has supreme confidence, you know, and our guys believe in him. So, you know, you make that 3 out of the timeout to go up 3, what, 28 seconds or whatever it was. And, you know, obviously Flack got his 5th foul. They threw it into Dom, and we were there in a double, and we had him in jail. I mean, Peterson and Flack, we had him in jail, and he must have, I was blocked out because of the angle, but he must have did a little shot fake because Tyler, you know, jumped or whatever. Makes them both. We break the press, and unfortunately we missed the free throw, and then, like we said, Horace knocks it down.
Let's take one to the back first.
But then, Mick, the other part of that is defenses usually get a lot better at this time of year too. Everybody's ready to play. You know, you go through the regular season sometimes, and you know it's hard work, and not everybody always wants to defend to their capability. But you get the March Madness, and everyone's going to leave it all on the line, and that's been the case the last 2 games for us.
Back.
I know it's tough to even talk about the NIT right now, but the last 2 years, the regular season champs had to go there. We've seen teams in this league and other leagues really benefit themselves, especially young teams the following years. As tough as this is a chance to at least get your guys some experience, because you're going to have most of them back here, with a chance to be back in this position next year.
It is. Our goal all year is the NCAA tournament, no question about it. We wanted to win the conference championship, both of them, and we won one of the 2. And winning the regular season gives you the right, no matter what, you know, to get to the NIT. And so that is a great caveat to have. And postseason play for the first time at USD men's basketball for quite some time. And obviously the NIT is very prestigious. There's going to be very good teams there. That being said, our end game was to get to the NCAA tournament, and we've proven that, you know, during the regular season we were the best team in the league, being the solo champs and winning 22 games, and you know, I guess winning 9 of our last 10, and 7 in a row going into tonight. But it's amazing how one basket is the difference between total elation and survive in advance and what we're feeling right now. But with the glass half full, it certainly is. It'll be a great opportunity. We'll give the guys a few days off here just to kind of get away, and when we come back, we'll be locked in and focused at whatever our draw is.
Matt.
Greg, in that situation at the end of the game, isn't Michael Orris kind of the guy you want taking that shot?
Well, you know, it's interesting. Orris is a guy, we played them, where was he at last year? Northern Illinois?
Yeah.
And we played them in a tournament early in the year last year, and he was playing for them. And there's just that's the reason I said what I said to Joe Van Gore. There's a reason he plays all these minutes, right? I mean, he's playing 39 minutes. And part of that is because their team needs him, but he does have a certain kind of moxie about him. Like, there's just certain guys you label as winners, right? And you have difference makers, winners, and then you have the other group where they can be, they can be just good enough to lose with. So some days they're really, really good, and other days they're maybe, and you don't always know which one's going to show up with those. And I view Orris as a winner. Like, he defends his butt off. He knows what the team needs. He plays his role. He made a huge. How about the three? When's the last time he's made a three? So he drills the three, in the second half in their run, and it's a player's game. I mean, players make some plays, and we made some great plays. We just weren't able to get the stops. Last 20 possessions, they shoot 17 free throws, and I don't mean that in any other way than like we fouled too much. And you can't just let a team, and they're a good free throw shooting team. So you can't just sit there and run up the fouls, and now they're shooting 2 every time you touch a guy. You know what I mean? Then it's hard to get consecutive stops, right? To make the run that you need to do, and that's what we usually do really well. Is we're 7th in the country in getting fouled, so it's hard for teams to really get big runs on us because we get to the line a lot. So is it the right guy? Yes and no. I mean, you sit there and say, hey, and Hurst came down, and it was just like slow motion, right? He wanted to flip it back to Dom, and we took that away. He wanted to flip it, and he kept kind of looking, and he was like Steve Nash in his dribble, right? And all of a sudden, and then he was Dom's posting deep, and he's looking to, and all of a sudden, like, there's not a lot of time left. I better get something going, because he knew if he drove right, Hurst is so good. Hurst is a phenomenal defensive player, and he made the smart play and just rising up and shooting it, and you're just like, because his release looked so good when he shot it, and you're just like, please hit the back rim or front rim and bounce out, but it didn't, and that's March Madness.
We got one here first, and I'll come to you, Stu.
Was the fact that you were ahead, almost the entire game making it be tougher to swallow? I know
Yeah, I mean, anytime you lose by, well, it ended up being 3, but, 1, and you have a half quarter kind of hanging on the rim, and we had control of the game, and it's certainly disappointing that we weren't able to finish the deal when you have a lead like that, and an 11-point lead at halftime. But they're a good team. They're going to make some runs. I felt like the middle of the second half, we just didn't do a great job on the defensive glass. I thought they really hurt us there and got free throw box out. Dom gets one, and like I said, you give them credit. I mean, Howe really hurt us in the second half with some of those drives and made some tough finishes over Peterson. So yeah, it's a tough one to take.
We can take a couple more. Stu, did you have one here?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago USD had just kind of become eligible in this tournament, and they would have been happy just to win a game and make the semi. They would have been happy to have, 20% of their crowd making up what was in the arena. Did you take pride in the fact that you had a hand in evening it out a little bit, where you guys are very disappointed to not go to the NCAA tournament, and you had, almost 50-50, whatever it was, representation tonight. Just a little bit of energy behind this USD program now. That's got to be a pretty good feeling.
It is, Stu. I think there's a ton of energy, certainly with our program, but with the whole University of South Dakota. And when I look at, what women's basketball obviously would have loved to get the NCAA tournament, but winning the NIT was great momentum for our fan base to be able to pack the dome and get all those people and kind of rekindle our spirit in a lot of ways. And then our volleyball team wins, shares the regular season conference championship, loses in the title game. And I know Bob Nielsen's going to really get it going in football. I have no doubt in my mind, and I'm sure everybody that's around USD athletics would say the same. And I get a little Dick Vermeil-ish sometimes, so forgive me if I get a little choked up. But these guys, to think of where we were, not only in June and July, but 2 years ago, and you get hired, and you just, boy, some of the things that we had, not only in some with personnel, but just even as an athletic department. Certainly the SCSC is the crown jewel, so to speak, and signifies so many things where the University of South Dakota is going. But so many things within our infrastructure that our administration has done to really help set our teams up for success. And do we have the most of anybody? No. But now I feel like we have some things that we can really build upon as a department. And and our programs. And I think 2 years ago when I got hired, just overhauling our roster. I mean, we were so top heavy with juniors and seniors, and to be able to come in with literally 7 brand new faces and 10 newly eligible players. I mean, going into the year, Tyler Flack's the only guy with any kind of experience. Well, Matt Mooney had 18.9 minutes a game at the Air Force Academy. Other than that, nobody had ever played more than 12.9 minutes a game on average in Division I sports. So excited the trajectory that this program is on. We lose one senior, and it's a big loss. I mean, he's but it's next man up. Tyler Hagedorn, Dan Jack, Austin Sparks. We have 2 very good recruits coming in. We have such tremendous, tremendous character on our team. And we got a lot of winners and fighters that will never, ever quit. And one of the things I'm most proud of, we went through the Summit League, didn't lose back-to-back games in the regular season during conference play. Like, that's hard to do unless you're 14-2, one of those deals. So Stu, when you look back, I'm a history guy, where you were, where you are, and where you're going. And I love where we're going.
Are there any final questions for Coach? Looks like we're good, Coach. Thank you. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for everything this season.